Hello everyone, and now welcome to game number 2 in the series between Hopestar and Infi. Gonna go ahead and get things all the way back up to here as we now move into game number 2. So, what am I looking for here in game number 2 as I go into 2x speed? I'm looking to see how exactly Hopestar plans to stop Infi and his game plan. Infi has been able to set up those expansions really early in that first game and really never get punished for it. Now, if the Undead Hopestar can actually punish this, then that would be a very, very good play. Meanwhile, we are looking at the Archmage. What is he? Yeah, Archmage is coming. No, not Archmage, Mountain King. Excuse me, Mountain King coming in. I was wondering, where is the hero? Mountain King comes in and should be able to get a lot of damage in here. It looks as though this Null Overseer will get taken down. There it goes. And now, are we going to perhaps see a Death Coil onto that Militia? There it is. There's the Death Coil. Picks up 2 skeletal minions as well and is now making his way over. Now, is the Death Knight going to be able to do anything as the Acolyte does get taken down? This is actually a very, very big deal. The Acolyte getting taken down gives the Mountain King level 2, which means that he is going to be... Oh, wow, what a brilliant move by Infi. If I had instant replay, I would show that once more. But Infi waited until the skeletal minion was about to swing and take down that peasant, and then instead he ran inside the gold mine for a split second. By running inside that gold mine, he denied, he hid for 1, maybe 2 attacks, and then the skeletal minion tried to chase down that poor low hit point peasant again. Not quite sure why he even decided to walk out of there while in the confines of that very, very comfortable spot, as we are now looking at the skeletal minions waking up the creeps. All right, there you have it. Peasant, very low hit point peasant, taking a bit of damage, now gonna go ahead and walk back home. Death Knight wants to come in with the Death Coil, and I believe he does get the experience on that one, but that means that he should not be able to get the experience on this Ogre Magi. Ogre Magi, Mountain King could come in with the Stormbolt here in just a second, and the Ogre Magi is going to end up falling. The Mountain King gets his experience and is going to finish off these skeletal minions as well. So far, Hopestar not having a good time. He's going to be forced to run away again. The Death Knight perhaps could have gotten into more, could have been more in harm's way, so to speak, as he does have the fountains of health to try and regenerate any damage that he has actually taken. We are almost at tier 2. We do not see a lot of Crypt Fiends, so I am wondering what exactly Hopestar's strategy is. He's sitting at 20 over 30 supply. He has ghouls and he has acolytes, and that's pretty much it at this point. And he needs to get another Ziggurat going, otherwise he is going to be severely delayed in getting up his second hero. Never mind, 21 over 30. So I thought I saw 20 over 20. There's that second Ziggurat already in play. But I am wondering what exactly the Death Knight hopes to do. He doesn't have a lot of units out on the field. The Crypt Fiends are going to be coming in a little bit late, and the Death Knight has not really been able to seriously creep. There are 2 ghouls here, and they may perhaps be able to get enough damage onto these units. The Death Knight may try to Death Coil this low hit point unit. Oh yeah, attacks the Death Knight himself, and then is going to switch units again, as this one poor low hit point ghoul is still absorbing a bit of damage. This is something that is more common for, I would say for Orc players than for Undead players, since those skeletal minions and ghouls have so low hit points. Generally, the Fountain of Health, or rather, the Fountain of Health does heal at a percentage of your hit points. So the Death Knight and higher hit point units actually heal more hit points per second than, say, ghouls. Now, what are we going to be looking at here as the Footman is taking a little bit of damage? That Footman may end up falling at the hands of the Death Knight. Death Knight does have Unholy Aura, so he will be able to catch up to it pretty easily. One more shot should do it. Shot and a Death Coil. No, not going to waste the Death Coil. Is he going to waste the Death? Is he going to use a Death Coil? No, for some reason decides against it, as he's just going to walk up, chase down that Footman, and take him down as he does. Oh, wow. The Footman regenerating 2 hit points and was able to survive. Meanwhile, Lich is out on the field as the Death Knight and the Lich move out across. Mountain King might be in a little bit of trouble here, decides not to attack that Crypt Fiend, as it would end up being slowed once more. Skeletal minions now coming in. You see a lot of footmen, and I do believe a chain of militia now going to be coming in as well, as in comes the pressure. Mountain King is going to get to level 3 after taking down one of these skeletal minions. You have to be very careful here, but he does not know that. Level 3 on the Mountain King now, or in just a moment, will mean level 2 Stormbolt, and level 2 Stormbolt is just that much more deadly, dealing 250 hit points, or 225 as opposed to the 200 hit point heal. All right, another heal right there. The Mountain King is not going to waste the mana on... Oh, he does waste the mana, but on the Death Knight instead to get the surround. Beautifully done. Skeletal minions now fighting back. Frost armor onto the Lich. Death Knight is doing a great job, as he is constantly getting stunned though. Stunned to death, and that is the problem with the level 3 Mountain King. That jump in damage from 100 to 225 was what made it possible for Infi to defend there. Perfect timing. Infi, well aware of how important the death of a skeletal minion would have been to really tip things in his favor, and unfortunately Hopestar had no idea how close that Mountain King was to level 3. He may have decided to push a little bit differently if he knew. So Infi really in control of this game right now, in the driver's seat, as he is now hoping to take down the Null Wardens here. All right, the footmen here do not have defend, and it looks as though, yes, one footman does scout the rest of the skeletal minion army, quickly making its way over to try and cause a bit more pressure. All right, Arcane Vault, Scroll of Regeneration will most likely be coming in shortly, as we can see the Arcane Tower going to be working overtime to take down these skeletal minions. One skeletal minion now down. Handful of skeletal minions are left. This footman is really putting his back into it, so to speak, as he is going to take a lot of damage, but still be able to run around in circles. Meanwhile, the Death Knight is taking this opportunity to creep, and I like this play. He's causing and forcing Infi to at least stay inside his base so he can get back and recover the hero advantage that he should have. Level 3 and almost level 2 on the Lich, as we are now still sitting at Town Hall at the main base and now upgrading to Keep. Very important. Oh, footman getting shot down there, as the Lich, if it gets to level 2, that would have been a completely different story. A quick Frost Nova would have just absolutely destroyed everything right there. Down to 222 shots. Are we going to see a death coil? Yes, there is level 2 now on the Lich. Frost Nova should be in play. And now what is that Mountain King going to do except lose a little bit of damage? All right, here you go. Obsidian statues are all in play, but all the guard towers come in just at the right time. The Lich not getting to level 2, that was a very big deal. All right, there's the death coil onto the Crypt Fiend. The Crypt Fiend will end up staying alive. The footmen do have defend though, as they quickly burrow themselves, and perfect timing on that burrowed Crypt Fiend to stay alive. All right, that additional +3 armor really making a big difference there, as the Lich gonna start focusing down the Mountain King, or the Mountain King's, I guess, henchmen there. Arcane Vault now in danger of falling, and will be falling, but Infi really smartly decides to upgrade his keep, and what that's going to mean is that he can now Call of Arms at the expansion as well. So none of this half-time militia. It is going to be the full-time militia, as the militia are going to really just focus things down pretty quickly. All right, one footman runs straight on through, gets defend up. Are we going to see a death coil? No, we're not. The Death Knight is just going to chase after this footman rather easily, since defend is still up. One more shot should do it, and I believe the Death Knight does get his man. Meanwhile, back over here, Arcane Vault is falling. We can see that the Mountain King has purchased a Staff of Teleportation, and more importantly, Dust of Appearance, to make sure that those pesky Crypt Fiends are not able to use their burrow magic. There's a quick Stormbolt. Are we going to see a burrow? Are we going to see a burrow? I don't know. No, you're going to actually just see him back off again, and Cold Footman with defend move extremely slowly. Slaughterhouse should be coming into play. Destroyer form now coming in as well. If we actually had web, this would be the perfect time to creep out this Fountain of Health. Get to a higher level Frost Nova be able to deal a bit more damage and get a little bit more experience. Meanwhile, the footmen are just sitting there with the Fen, and here comes the militia. In comes a meat wagon as well. The meat wagon gonna get pressured very quickly as it does move rather slowly. There is a quick Stormbolt, Frost Armor now onto the Crypt Fiend. The Crypt Fiend is going to slow down a whole bunch of units as he does burrow in time. Dust of Appearance quickly added though, and that was the big difference. All right, Crypt Fiend decides to pop back up. There is a Dust of Appearance on that burrowed Crypt Fiend as well, as it is going to be revealed. All right, the meat wagons trying their best, but the Dust of Appearance constantly revealing on these burrowed Crypt Fiends. Even before they are burrowed, the dust was applied to them, and now we see the destroyers are in the air. Quick turnaround of events. All of a sudden, the Mountain King realizes, I cannot survive this fight because of those destroyers. I have no anti-air, and the meat wagons are going to be pushing. So a quick change once more, as the destroyers have to be extremely careful here. If the destroyers actually get too close, as this Death Knight did, he is going to end up falling. And yes, the destroyer falls to guard towers. That is something you cannot do. Those destroyers are 5 supply units, very, very expensive, and you need every single one of them to combat this fortified human expansion. I can't believe Hopestar had let that fall so easily. Death Knight unable to save that Crypt Fiend, and this is just going from bad to worse. There was a small window of opportunity for Hopestar to really push in and do a lot of damage. He needed to keep all of his destroyers alive and get some more meat wagons, and that's all it would have taken. He could have put a lot of pressure, start sieging up, and then really start making his opponent pay. Instead, with only 1 destroyer now, the militia are going to be able to rush this meat wagon fairly quickly. All right, here you go. You can see the damage now coming in. The meat wagon trying to pull back here. A ghoul going to get easily taken out. Ghouls pretty much have no place once a Mountain King hits level 4, let alone level 5, as the meat wagon is able to just attack and move back once more. Death Knight continuing the fight here, and you can see that the Mountain King is taking a serious bit of damage, but with the Paladin and constantly healing, I don't believe that Mountain King will be falling anytime soon. Meat wagon still applying the pressure. Destroyers are now up in the air. They're going to be absorbing mana, and Hopestar is really hoping to make something happen. He's going to go into a 5 destroyer army. If he actually goes into a 5 destroyer army, that would be absolutely insane, as there are also flying machines. Okay, what's going to be happening here? That is a lot of damage, and now those destroyers are just going to be straight on coming in. You can see how much damage they do, how fast they do it, as the Blood Mage comes in. Siphon mana battery strategy already working against them. As you can see, the destroyers are going to be able to turn around, take down a peasant, take down another one. Oh, but the Stormbolt, Holy Light, takes down the level 3 Lich in an instant. Meat wagon trying to back up. Mountain King and Paladin can pretty much only go after that target, as the Blood Mage is still... Oh, Staff of Sanctuary saves, I believe, the Blood Mage, as the Death Knight knows, I need to get rid of that hero. Blood Mage currently resurrecting right there. Oh, gets a Death Coil. Oh, gets a Holy Light. Is he going to be able to stay alive? As the Paladin now pulls back once again. All right, the Destroyers, not enough mana to really push forward here. There is 1 meat wagon and 1 meat wagon only to try and continue this pressure. Paladin now sitting up on a good amount of mana, as we're looking at the attacks beginning. All right, flying machines looking to focus down all of these destroyers. The destroyers going after the towers. The Paladin up in the face of the Death Knight, as the Blood Mage was able to drain all the mana. All right, there is a handful of destroyers left, but without mana in those destroyers, they do not counter flying machines at all. So what's going to be happening next? Stormbolt, Holy Light, Death Knight down to down to 183 hit points, as the Death Knight now healing at this Fountain of Health. There is the GG, as the Death Knight falls, and Infi takes this series 2-0. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed game number 2 in this series.